All right, guys, you ready for some dumb action fun? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of The Amateur, the newest film from director James Hawes. Alright, guys, so here we have a April movie that is starring Rami Malek as a husband slash CIA analyst who basically loses his wife, played by Rachel Brosnahan, in a terrorist attack in London, and he uncovers this possible conspiracy in the CIA and decides he's going to kill the terrorist himself. But he's a CIA analyst. He's a shrimp guy, a guy that's very small, very kind of just more smart than he is kind of a rogue agent. And he decides he's going to take it upon himself against the wishes of the CIA itself. And so in his speciality of being a nerd in a lot of respects when it comes to computers, he does invent ways to basically kill the terrorist. So in essence, this is a spy thriller of a guy who is against the norm of a CIA agent, and it's also a movie that has people, I don't know, like Laurence Fishburne and John Berenthal and Holt McCallany and Michael Stuhlbarg, and of course Julianne Nicholson and Caitríona Balfe, and it's an action spy thriller. I'll give it that. It is definitely that. So there you go. That's kind of how this film wraps. Okay, everybody. So here's a film that I was going in just wanting to have fun with. I was not expecting high art. I was expecting a movie where Rami Malek is going against the odds of him being kind of a nerd at the computer, dealing with like the fact that he's very smart, but he's not a trained killer. And I was just kind of hoping that this movie would at least attempt to be an entertaining, movie time in the theaters. It's 2 hours long. It's a movie with Rami Malek, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It has a good cast in it, and I was not expecting anything of, I just was expecting something of fun, I guess, of value, I guess you could say. And of course, apparently it's based off a Canadian film from 1981, also based off a book. So, I mean, what? Okay, sure. Okay, fine. So I went into this movie. They did, early screenings, and of course, they have a screening for, the public and stuff like that. And for my honest review of this movie, it's a pretty dumb movie. It's a pretty confounding movie. It's a movie so illogical, so baffling that I think I kind of liked it, to be fairly honest. I don't think it's a very good movie. I think you have to leave your brain at the door. I think it's a movie with so many holes in its ideologies. I think, Rami Malek's character is given so many kind of cuts and corners when it comes to how he's able to do things. I think it leaves logic completely out the door. It's a movie that really struggles to maintain a balance of any type of interest. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's something that I just kind of went in going, yep, that's this kind of movie. I heard that it was this type of movie, and it's exactly what I expected it to be. It's fine. It really is. I'm not going to say that it's the best movie of the year or the worst movie of the year. It's perfectly adequate as a film. I think Rami Malek is doing the best he can with the material. Once again, it's based off a 1981 Canadian film, apparently, based off a novel. It's I don't know what else to say. It has characters like John Berenthal plays a CIA agent, and Laurence Fishburne plays a colonel or something like that, a sergeant or whatever for the military that trains Rami Malek. Holt McCallany is like the FBI agent that you suspect it might not be on the level. Julianne Nicholson and stuff like that. And Michael Stuhlbarg pops up later in this film. The main issue with this movie is people like John Berenthal and Laurence Fishburne and Holt McCallany don't really have any competent storylines in this movie. John Berenthal is the worst I've seen John Berenthal used in a movie. He comes in as somebody that'd be kind of interesting as maybe like a foil for Rami Malek, but he just kind of disappears and then kind of pops up at the end, but doesn't really do anything to kind of fill out the movie. I think Laurence Fishburne, once again, has a really interesting setup, but once again, is not really used very well. He just kind of pops in and out. If you remember, I keep bringing this movie up a lot. It's the movie Shoot 'Em Up with like Paul Giamatti and Clive Owen. That's a movie where things just kind of happen. Things, you throw your brain out the door because if you think about it too hard, it completely falls apart. That's The Amateur, to be fairly honest. I think James Hawes, who did the movie One Life, which is actually a really good movie, doesn't really know how to stage action. He doesn't really know how to stage story in this movie. It really feels like he's very incapable of directing an interesting movie with this. Like I said, things happen, plots happen, but they're not fully realizing why they're happening. Things, go by the wayside. The stuff just disappears in the story. Just the idea of how capable Rami Malek's character happens to be is something out of a really kind of stupid like spy thriller film. It feels like they took the character from like Get Smart and threw him into this movie. I don't know. It's not a very good movie, but once again, I kind of have to go back to it's like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a movie where you kind of just have to stop thinking as soon as it starts, because if you start thinking, it doesn't make any sense. What he's doing doesn't make any sense. How he's able to do it doesn't make any sense. And just overall, the plot just is like, it kind of it kind of hurts your brain, burns your brain, whatever you want to say. I don't know. It says some of the set pieces are cool, but the idea of like him going after the bad guys because his wife was murdered is an interesting idea. But, for instance, he's asking information for a specific character and he just kills the characters 2 seconds later without getting any information. It's just like, you're really stretching for story at this point. But once again, it's still an entertaining movie. I didn't hate myself for watching it. I just knew that I was going to have to turn my brain off and kind of think about something else. Think about, the wonderful world of video games or something. I don't know. This is a video game movie, actually, now that you think about it, because it's incompetent in a lot of respects. But overall, The Amateur is not a very good movie. You have to leave your brain at the door. If you do that, I think you'll have a good time. But otherwise, it just doesn't live up to anything that I was expecting. I guess I wasn't really expecting much. So I don't know. It's The Amateur. It's in theaters very, very soon. So there you go. So with that said, that's going to be my take on The Amateur. Comments below, as I always say. What is your favorite spy film? What is your favorite against all odds type of film when it comes to a person that is up against the impossible odds of being the good guy in the bad guy scenario? Let me know. There you go. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell. Top fun's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.